across. We have Sai Giridhar, who's the Vice President at Farah, joining us to give us the latest outlook with regard to what's playing out on the auto side. Mr. Giridhar, great having you. Let me start off by understanding from you how you're seeing the post-festive trends really shape up with regard to auto. You have the best year on ground with regard to what are the trends that are shaping up. Give us a sense.
So it's been very encouraging. In fact, even November month, if you see the numbers, it's been actually encouraging because when we compare it to last year there was a spillover for Diwali because Diwali was in the fag end of October. So the numbers are very encouraging. If you talk about passenger vehicles, there is a growth of as high as 20% in passenger vehicle. Overall, the growth is approximately 2%. And if you see for the financial year, for first 8 months, the growth is close to 10% overall in all these segments. And when you compare this growth for the first 6 months, from April till September, it was hovering around 3.5% or less than 3.5%. So it's been very encouraging. And I'm sure it's going to continue and sustain for near future.
Right. Sai, important to analyze segment-wise, what's the big growth bump up and where is it that you see actually continuation of that? Because, I mean, just looking at the November data, it seems that all segments have been doing well. But where do you think that the momentum is going to remain intact or even better than what we've seen in the past few months?
So it's been, what typically what we see is that it's going to be across segment. It's not going to be limited to a particular segment, say, for example, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, or four-wheelers, or commercial vehicles. We've seen a healthy bounce back in all the segments, and it's going to sustain because, I think the basic effect is due to the GST and the overall economy, the way it's been structuring the repo cuts, the reduced interest on which the car loans or vehicle loans are today available. So overall, if you see, it's been a healthy trend, and we see that it's going to continue and sustain in a longer run.
And Mr. Giridhar, so would you therefore be reasonably confident of a double-digit growth FY26? Of course, first half was a difficult, couple of quarters, but thereafter the kind of commentary that I'm hearing from you, I'm getting a sense that it could well be double-digit for FY26.
Absolutely, you're absolutely dead on because when we started this financial year, we had predicted that it will be a low single-digit growth, but now we are actually seeing the growth today is close to 9.5% overall in all these segments, and continuing the trend, I guess. We're going to end up this financial year with a double-digit growth. It's absolutely on the cards. I think only spoil factor could be because January is around the corner. The OEMs general tendency is to increase the prices. If there is a rational increase in the prices, it can still be sustained. But if the OEMs go overboard as far as increasing the prices are concerned, then it can play a spoil sport. Otherwise, all the trends, everything looks positive. We are bound to see a double-digit growth.
And Mr. Giridhar, give outlook for FY27. Therefore, you'll start to get early feelers of that already. So on this higher base, can that double-digit growth continue? Because, and I come from a perspective that, if I recall right, Hero in its con call at the end of Q2 suggested that every time there has been a 5 to 8% cut in excise over the last 20 years, they've seen double-digit growth for the 2 consecutive years thereafter. I'm trying to understand whether that trend will likely play out across auto.
See, it's going to be there across auto because I don't think anything can stop because for last a decade we've been talking about this surge in auto, and now we are witnessing it, and it's going to sustain. If you talk about two-wheeler segment, in last couple of months itself, it's been close to 6 million two-wheelers have been actually sold across India. So it's been a healthy trend, and I'm 100% sure it's going to continue across segments. If you talk about even passenger vehicle was hovering around less than 3.5% for the first 6 months of this financial year. Now it is close to 8.5%, and double digit is absolutely on the cards. And you're absolutely right that even for the financial year 26-27, it's going to continue.
Interesting. But what trends are you foreseeing when it comes to urban versus rural place? And does it seem like there is an across-the-board recovery?
So we're seeing as far as urban versus rural, definitely last month, if you talk about urban has performed better than rural, and we had anticipated it because it's more of tradition. Uh, Practically speaking, even after the festival season, the rural demand goes down. But if you see the way the sowing has happened, we absolutely anticipate that rural is going to come back. If you talk about even passenger vehicle, even last month there was a healthy growth as far as bit lacking, but otherwise overall we see both the urban and rural both firing up.
Okay. Mr. Giridhar, I know you touched upon inventory trends, but talk to us about how that unwind is happening and whether two-wheelers is doing better and entry-level four-wheeler versus the premium, two-wheeler also entry-level versus premium. Talk to us about those trends. Where is it that you're seeing better traction?
So see, as far as inventory is concerned, two-wheeler, I don't think it was ever a concern for the last year or so. The basic concern was mainly limited to passenger vehicle. Now, even when passenger vehicle, we are seeing the inventory drastically reducing at the dealerships. In fact, if I can preempt this month, in fact, dealers would be at a lowest inventory in last probably a year and a half. And January, we expect bare minimal rollover stock going ahead because most of the OEMs, they have actually planned their manufacturing in such a way that the inventories at the dealership would be much lower.
Okay. And Mr. Giridhar, where should one, if one were to look at a pocket of opportunity, right, from an investor standpoint, what should it be? Should it be on the distribution side? Should it be on the OEM side? Should it be on the? I know you're not an analyst, but give us a sense on where those opportunities could well be from a maybe couple of years perspective. Do you believe the OEMs are better placed?
So what? See, as you said, I'm not an expert, but I can only say that if you're there in auto, whether you are in component manufacturing or you're from the OEM side or if you're from the distribution side, this is the time to be in automobile as far as India is concerned because the surge will be there. We've always talked about that per thousand ownership in India is the lowest. We're still hovering around 32 per thousand when you compare it to the developing markets. If you talk about even Brazil is what close to 400 per thousand. China is close to what 250 to 250 per thousand. So the growth is the potential for growth is enormous, and I think this is the time to be in automobile as far as Indian market is concerned.
Right. Okay, Sai, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.